Cutting the dress pattern. The dress we are making is a children's dress. Therefore, the front and the back pattern are the same. So just fold the fabric and then cut it according to the pattern, so you will have 2 pieces of the fabric. Leave 2 centimeters as usual for the seam allowance. After that, you can trim off the excess fabric so it will look symmetrical. Cutting the next pattern. For the back part of the next pattern, the pattern was cut in half, so fold the fabric and then cut it according to the pattern. Leave 1 to 2 centimeters for the seam allowance. And then we will have 2 pieces of the back neck fabric. And now we are going to cut the front part of the neck fabric. Leave 2 centimeters for the seam allowance. Always remember to not lifting up the fabrics while cutting it because the fabric will move around. So here we cut 2 pieces of the front and neck fabric. So you got 4 pieces of front and back fabric combined. Next, we are stitching the edges of the dress. The right side of the front fabric meets the right side of the back fabric. And then stitch the edges all the way to the bottom. Leave 2 centimeters for the seam allowance. Stitching the arm sleeves. To stitch the sleeves, fold 1 centimeter of the sleeves fabric inwards and then proceed stitching it. Stitching the bottom side of the dress. The same when we were stitching the sleeves, fold 1 centimeter of the bottom fabric inwards and stitch it as well. As shown in the video, we started stitching the right or left side and then proceed stitching it all the way until the starting point. Next, we are going to connect the back and front part of the neck section. Stack up the front and back fabric, and the right side is meeting the right side, and then stitch it on the shoulder section. Ironing the interlining fabric. On the neck section's fabric, we are going to add an interlining fabric. To add it to the fabric, we will iron it later. Now we are cutting 1 piece for each of the back and front fabric. And now we are ironing the interlining fabric. The interlining fabric has a glossy side and a non-glossy side. So here the glossy side of the interlining fabric has to meet the wrong side of the neck fabric. And then iron it with a medium to high heat. Iron it until it sticks to the fabric. Now we are going to stitch the inner part of the neck section. So we have 2 layers of the neck section. Pile both of them with the right side meeting the right side, and then we stitch the edges of the neck. You don't need to fold it inwards, stitch the inner side all around. We have 2 layers of the fabric because we will reverse it later and because the layer will hide the interlining fabric. And then cut it like the one in the video, so when you reverse it, it will be easier. Now we are stitching the outer side of the neck section. So fold the edge like this to the other edge, and this is just so it will be easier to stitch. And now stitch it from the middle section like this, Or you can also pin the edges so it won't move. We will also reverse this later. Now stitch it from the other side. So we were starting from the middle point, and now we continue it from the other side, from the left side. And then you can cut it like that. And next, pull one of the sides outwards. And as you can see, one side is finished. And for the other side, we are going to do the same thing. Fold it and stitch it from the middle section. And after that, stitch it as well from the left side to the middle point. And then cut it a bit and reverse it as well. Now we are going to stitch the bottom side of the neck section. Reverse the wrong side so the right side is meeting the right side. And then stitch it from the edge until the middle section. But it doesn't have to be exactly until the middle because we will need some space to reverse the fabric later. And now reverse it, and the same goes for the other side as well. So we repeat this process 4 times for 4 edges. And there should be a hole on each side like that. Next, we are going to connect the neck section to the dress. Make sure you connect the middle points. So mark the dress middle points and connect them to the middle points of the neck section. So here the dress middle point is meeting the neck middle point. And now start stitching from the edge, or you can also start from the middle. And then stitch them all around. And then you reverse the dress and also do the same thing to the back part of the dress.